Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Apologies for the technical difficulties. We had the server crash on us, and I ended the stream, and then we couldn't get it back on. But now, yeah, we're all back. This is the Formula Racing League Taco Tuesday, Season 16, Round 3 in Austria. If you want to watch the build up again, you have to go back and watch the first part of this two-part broadcast. But we're going to dive straight into qualifying because we only have 12 and a half minutes left. So I'm going to head over to the broadcast now, and we should see. We're riding with Gedman currently. So we've been robbed a little bit of some entertainment, I'd say, because anyone that was watching the first part of the broadcast will know that we had obviously a wet track, and it was drying out because it was sunny in the weather forecast. So basically, it was going to go from damp to sort of greasy, and then green, and then fast, and then optimum. So, but right now qualifying is, as you can see, optimum. The track is dry, so that means we should see. Well, on the plus side, we'll see all of the fastest drivers out there, but we are robbed of a bit of entertainment and so maybe a shake up on the grid. So all the fastest drivers should pop out on the front now, really, because of the track being optimum. But we'll ride with it anyway, and then hopefully we'll see some rain in the race to make it a bit spicy. What I would love to see is a bit of rain in the race, like start dry and then end finish wet, or start wet finish dry. That could be quite interesting, couldn't it? So at the minute it is Roberts that is out in front with a 1:28.1. I fully expect the times to drop down into the 27s. We see Radic here and Simon here in the Porsches in second and third, and then Aresh, who's our championship leader, currently sat in P4, half a second back. But like I said, I think it's just people trying to get used to the new track surfaces again, because it would have gone, as we see someone going across the gravel there, it would have gone from obviously the greasy track they had in the last qualifying stint to now being completely bone dry. So obviously they've just got to trust the grip again and start to sort of get their speeds back up. But I fully expect, like I said, the times to drop down into the 1:27s. We'll just stay with Aresh currently to come around to complete his what looks like second qualifying lap. So he is half a second back currently, but we'll see with 10 minutes to go where he can go. He goes up to the front with a 1:28.1. Still not into the 1:27s, but I do think, like I said, those times will start tumbling down in a little while. We do have, I just saw the number 19 car. Just trying to find out what he's driving. That is Simon. Yes, Simon here. 0.4 of a second back in the Porsche. Porsche looking pretty racy out there today. And as I say that, he goes with a 1:28.0. So straight up into pole. Knocks Aresh down. The Porsches were looking pretty good out there. And that obviously goes to show that they have got some speed. The 71 car now of Van der Waal coming around onto the start-finish straight. So we'll see if he can improve from being 1.5 seconds back. And as he crosses the line here, he goes 1.2 seconds behind. It moves up to 13th place. So still a lot of time to get, but obviously that is an improvement. And if he does that every single lap, he will start to keep going up the order. We have obviously Brown's just crossed the line, so he's gone. He was up to 7th, now we're down to 8th. Was the other driver we were talking about in the last race that had a DNF in Paul Ricard, so we are expecting him to have a good race today and pull himself up the order slightly. We missed, actually, it was Caruana in the first race. He wasn't actually there. Then he popped up in the second race and had a good race around Paul Ricard. So let's see what he can do in round 3. Caruana currently in 6th place, 0.6 of a second back. Then we have the 717 car of Hyman's coming out the last couple of corners here, so we'll see what he can do. We still have, like I said, about just over 8.5 minutes left, optimum track conditions, so we should see these times just keep getting better and better as these guys get used to going flat out on these low fuel runs. And because it's such a short track as well, as we can see, Hyman's goes up into P13. Yeah, it's only a 1.5 minute lap, which means even with like 2 minutes to go, you can still get out there and set a time. Rogers here, he is up into P9. I think he's had 2 6th place finishes in the first 2 races. So let's see if he can continue that trend. And the 666, so that's an unlucky 3 positions. And Grace actually was looking quite good in qualifying last week as well, and he's up in P5 currently. He's been knocked down by Hooper, who's gone up into P4, 0.3 of a second back. And it is, look at this, both the Porsches here in first and second at the minute. Radic is the first driver into the 1:27s with 1:27.8. It is Radic and Simon in first and second. So I think they're the only two Porsche drivers in the... Oh, no, there's two more at the back, so I was going to say I forgot about Gedman. Yeah, so obviously there is still life in that Porsche. Yeah, they've struggled in the first couple of races, so it would be good to see Porsche's a bit more competitive at the front. We can see the battles of the Honda here with Brown and Sharp being 8th and 9th. I know they've both raced on Sunday, and they were both, I think they finished like qualified third and fourth in the first leg at least. So yeah, that's an improvement there. Or sorry, not an improvement there, but sorry, they're still up there in the top 10 though, so it's showing that they have got some pace around here. Wazza though looking pretty racy, like I said, in that P6 position currently. And then who hasn't set a time just yet? So we have two drivers left to set a time. One of them is Zampolini. Zampolini, like we did say, has got pole in the last 2 races, but he has had 2 unfortunate finishes to those races, and he finds himself nowhere near the top 10 in the championship. So obviously he'll have to make sure he has a good race today, so he's one to watch. Kaspari again seems to be quite a good driver, and he has good race pace as well, always in and around the top 10. He is in the top 10 in the championship as well, which we'll go over when we get out of qualifying. But with 6 minutes 40 seconds to go, there's still a lot of action to be had here. Kaspari here just about to start his first flying lap. I'm sure he will get himself off of what is 35th place. But big news out here today, I would say, is that, like I said, we don't have Van den Ham or V-Spec in today's race. So 2 of our top drivers, 2nd and 3rd in the championship, both not out there, which is it's unfortunate for them because obviously they do have the drop round, which shouldn't affect them too much. But yeah, it's unfortunate to not see them in this race today, but it will mean that we will have a new podium at least. Hooper here goes up into pole position. I did say that Hooper was looking pretty racy, and he has shown that pace here today. 1:27.7. He is up into first. It is still the Porsches in second and third with Aresh in fourth, but we do have some of the faster drivers still potentially to set a time. Rogers has been bumped down to 13th place, as you can see. Cobb here up in the top 10 now. He is 0.5 behind the leaders, so Cobb has found a bit of pace out there. We also have Krivec here as well, which is now got up in the top 10. He is actually only 0.5 as well behind. A lot of drivers half a second off the pace here. And then a bit further down we have Harry Palmer here is in 14th in the Ford Mustang. He's about just shy of a second down, and he has King, who had a good race in the first round. Obviously fell off a cliff, as we can see Palmer going around there into the wall. So he's it's what we're saying about how this track will provide a lot of incidents, because again, just one little slip up and you're into the barrier here. So it's all about it's all good about being fast, but if you can't keep the car on the track, you're going to have a bad day at the office. But what we're saying here with King, like I said, is he finished 4th in round 1 at Misano, and obviously he had a bit of a bad race at Paul Ricard, but let's not rule him out of potentially having a good race here at the Red Bull Ring. Back up at the front, it is still Hooper in that lead with a 1:27.7. We'll just ride with King now and see what he can do. So he's a second down at the minute. It's P16. We'll see if he can improve. Coming up to the last couple of corners, he comes around here onto the home finish straight. What can he do? Can he improve any more from where he is currently? Doesn't look like he's improved his time, unfortunately for him. Who else is out there currently setting some time? Let's just have a look. Is it the 65 car of that Tulloch? Yeah, it's Tulloch here. He's got a couple of corners to go. He is currently 1.2 seconds back. Was one of the, I think he was one of the Patreon profile drivers last week. Let's see if he can find himself up at least into the top 20s here. And as he's come around the last corner, he's gone massively wide there, so that's going to affect his ability to set a time there, because obviously he would have defaulted his lap. We have the number 37 car. That is Sharp. Sharp here, like I said, currently P8, leading that NSX battle over Brown, who is in P12 here. But as Sharp goes across the line, as he comes up the line now, sorry, he sets... No, doesn't improve at all. Yeah, so he stays where he is, 0.49 second back. I didn't actually think that Naisbitt was in this one as well. I think he was originally racing in a Honda, but I think he's bottled it and changed over to the McLaren. So yeah, he is now currently P34, 1.9 seconds back. Interesting at the minute though, Zampolini is sat here still in the pit lane with 3 minutes to go. Is he just going to set one flying lap at the end here? But this is a bold strategy by Zampolini. I don't know if he's got an issue or something, but yeah, he needs to get out there soon if he is to set a time. We can see here Rayner. Rayner was looking pretty pretty quick in practice. I would say at 1.3 second that he's back. I would say that's not representative of the kind of time he could set. He seems to have found some speed in that Mercedes, but he isn't paying dividends at the minute. What else we got out at the minute setting a time? We do have the number 2 car. Who is that? Can't see the number 2. Oh, there it is. Okay, that is Delhi. Delhi is currently in P24, 1.2 seconds back, so he has still got some way to go to move himself up the order. Was right with Paulson for second. Paulson is currently in P33, 1.7 seconds back. He's got a couple of corners to go. There's a lot of people queuing up to obviously set their last flying lap here. Remember, if you are in the chat today at YouTube, yeah, feel free to come in and say hello. I'll have a chat with you as the race goes on. Paulson does improve his time, but it's only very, very minimally. I think he's going to retire there, and he's not going to set another time. If you are in the pitch, you need to come out now if you are going to set a time. We can see Arash here has gone up to P2. Couldn't catch up with Hupert's time here, but he has just crept in. He is now 100th of a second ahead of Radic here. He is 0.045 off of Hooper, and Radic is 0.055. Wazza though, here we go. Wazza's popped up into P4 in that Bentley. I did say, would he be like a driver that's going to sort of all of a sudden found a bit more pace coming this race here, and he has improved. And with 1 minute 27 seconds to go, he may well get one more lap as well. I don't know what time was it 1 minute 27 or 1 minute 28 when he crossed the line here, but this could be Wazza's last lap. He could be the first driver to end qualifying here, but Wazza currently P4, 0.2 a second back. That's a great qualifying lap by him. And let's just see who else we can take a look at. Serpentine is currently in the pit lane here. Just trying to catch the drivers as quickly. Roberts here, who is he's had a good couple of races so far. I think he might have I think he had a bit of a bad race at Paul Ricard, but he has shown he has got the pace here to compete at the higher levels. He is currently 7.4 of a second back, but he has got 40 seconds left, so this will be his last flying lap. So the drivers come around the last corner. You can see Arash now setting himself up for a flying lap. He was yellow flagged there, so I think that means he will. He will. Obviously, he was just flying himself up, but Danko here is currently in P25. Will have one last chance. This is his last flying lap as well. I think Danko was having quite a good race at Paul Ricard as well, if I remember rightly, but. Currently, he's on his last lap now. I just want to see if we can catch the last couple of drivers. So Radic here, he's going to have one more crack at the whip as well. So he crosses the line. He does improve though. He sets the exact same time as Hooper. So Hooper has a 1:27.752. Radic has just set a 1:27.752. Obviously, Hooper will stay in front by virtue of being the first driver to set it. Wazza did get one last flying lap in, so this will be his last attempt at potentially getting himself up the order a little bit. It is King that's going to cross the line. He goes up to P15 with his last lap. We have the 248 car. Let's see if we can find these cars quick enough. Sometimes I don't think the numbers match up here, but I will see when that guy gets the. Yeah, there you go. It was Kravec. Kravec goes P11 here, so he is a half a second back off the time. We do have a lot of drivers coming across the line now. I will try and catch some of them. It's the 512 of Rogers. Rogers here is not having a great qualified session, down in P19. He is going to have it all to do if he is to get himself up into. So he's going to arrive with Arash here, sorry, because Arash is only 8 thousandths of a second off of these times. But Rogers is going to have to auto if he's going to get into the top 6 for 3 races in a row. And as Arash crosses the line, he stays P3. So we are going to have, looks like a new driver on the pole position here. And let's ride with, where was Wazza? Because I know that Wazza was the last driver. Wazza's gone in the pits now, so there's only a few more drivers left across the line. I'm trying to catch them, but I think it is, Nelson coming across the line now. He actually finished in the top 10 in one of his races. Stays P30, though. That's not a great qualifying session by him. And there's the 441 car crosses the line last. And I think, I can't see them on there, so they must be up somewhere near the front. But it is Hooper that does take pole position here. And it is Radic who set the identical time the second place car. So that is insane driving by those two. So just by virtue of being the second driver to set that time, he will start second on the grid. But that's both drivers setting identical times, which is brilliant to see. Anyone that's watching us on YouTube at the minute, drop me a message and tell me who you think is going to potentially get pole position. Sorry, who's going to win the race? Is it going to be Hooper from pole, or are we going to see a few, maybe a new name at the front. Zampolini, though, with the interesting one, P35 in qualifying. So I don't know if that's some sort of strategy where he's going to start from the back and work his way forward. But yeah, he's going to have it all to do come race time, because that is, yeah, that's not going to be where he wants to be. But I don't know if maybe he had an issue because he didn't even set a time. He just literally was sat in qualifying the whole time in the pits. So I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what's gone on there, but that is a bad one for Zampolini. But just let me remind you of the standings, guys. Like I said, so it is Arash that does lead the way, and he is P3 in qualifying. Vanden Ham and Lodder, who is V-Spec, neither of them are in today's race. I think Simon got P5, but we'll check that one in a minute. And again, King, obviously, like I said, he had that first race where he finished in fourth, which is obviously why he has those 37 points there, but obviously because of the drop round. But he will find himself moving out of the top 10 if he can't improve on his qualifying time so far. But yeah, it was Simon who did get P5. And then we had Radic, though. Radic, who is currently in the hunt in this championship, finds himself on the front row alongside Hooper. And we do know the Porsche is a fast starting car, so that's one to watch out for as well. But Radic and Hooper here, I don't know if Hooper even raced in round one, but he now again he finished P4 in race one, or was it P5? I think it was P4, and then obviously now he's on pole position for race two. So he is showing that he does have the credentials to potentially challenge Arash in this championship. Grace, who is currently in P8 in the championship, I think he qualified. I thought he was somewhere near the front, but I think he qualified P10. That's not a bad qualifying session by him. And then Kaspari finished sixth in qualifying, and again he's in the championship hunt. But Stu Rogers, that's a big one there. Finished sixth in his first two races, and he's now coming down in P21. So that is not a good qualifying session for him, and he will have it all to do come race time. I think we have about 1.5 minutes before the race starts. So let me just go back to the broadcast and we'll have a look at the times here. So let's go over to the timetable, and we can see here in qualifying it is, let's go up to the front and see these sectors here. So actually, interestingly, the fastest sector of sector 3 was Quebec here with a 0:26.835. It was Radic that owns sector 2, and that's probably because sector 2 is the more windy part of the circuit, and then the fastest sector 1 is Hooper by some margin, by 0.3 of a second. So yeah, it is interesting there, isn't it? So obviously, so it's going to be all about Hooper's speed in the sector 1 and all about Radic's handling in sector 2. But two identical times, one at 27.752, which is insane. And then obviously to only have 8 thousandths of a second with Arash in third as well. So don't rule out Arash obviously from still winning this race. He's quite aggressive when it comes to his racing style and his overtakes. So he will not be afraid to sort of get his car stuck in there and get involved. But also the big name I say in there is Wazza in P4. That's quite an interesting one as well. And that Bentley's going to do quite well in the 16 with everyone else. Attended Genie saying how so he's obviously buzzing that he got up there in the front P1. Like I said, he is P1 by 0 thousandths of a second, because Radic's got exactly the same time. Luke Richards saying 21 cars within 1 second. That's awesome. It has been the way of all of the races so far. I think it's just it's been even in the first race in Misano, you can see Rogers here within a second. But it's Misano, there were so many cars in the same order, and this is what we were talking about before, because sometimes I think who was it? It was Zampolini, wasn't it, in the first lap? So he crashed down out the order. Even though he was on pole, he still had to. He still couldn't get back up the order because everyone was, just so fast. Everyone was in a second of each other. So, if you're only a second behind, it's not very easy to, to overtake. So we might not see like someone like Zampolini currently in P35 being able to move himself up the order. But it is Hooper that leads the way. So let's just run you through the order here. So it's Hooper in P1 with Radic alongside him in P2. That's a new front row because normally Arash and Zampolini. Arash, though, sits in third place, only 8 thousandths of a second behind. Wazza is an interesting one here in that Bentley. He's currently in P4 with Simon behind him in P5. And then it's Kaspari, who has got good race pace as we've seen before. He's currently in P6 with Roberts in P7. Sharp is alongside him in the Honda in P8. We have Palmer in P9. and it is Grace rounding out the top 10. Kvek is in P11 alongside Cobb in P12. Hymans is P13 with Rayner P14. Kings P15 with Brown in P16. Fast Art is 17th alongside Tulloch, and then Caruana and Pospisil round out the top 20. Rogers in P21 with that next alongside Van der Waal in P22. It is Prentice and Fetzer in 23rd, 24th. Delhi and Mertens is 25th and 26th. Danko and Duran round out 27th, 28th. Sorry, and then it's Koch and Serpentine round out top 30. Nelson is in P31. Gedman P32. Paulson is in P33 and Zampolini is in P34. We were originally starting with it was meant to be 35 drivers, so someone must have dropped out in the first round. I'm not sure. So before the race even started, I'm not sure who. I don't know if someone can let me know that. Either way, guys, we're coming around to the last couple of corners now. This is a 1 hour race. One mandatory pit stop for tyres. There was a pit window which stops you from pitting on the... Well, you can pit on the first lap, but you can't pit on the last lap. So there is like a pit window opens after a minute, which means you should still be doing lap 1 here. But as we come up to... Let's ride it to the helicam here, because I don't know if this is going to be a better run on the first corner here, but we'll run with the helicams to start off with. We'll stick with P2 as well. So this is Hooper and Radic here, P1, P2, Aresh and Wazza, P3, P4. The Porsche is normally a fast starting car, so when it goes green lights here, I expect that Porsche to get the initial lead into the first corner. You can see the Porsche's acceleration is always the best on the grid, and it goes up alongside the McLaren. They should tuck down the inside here and get into P1. Radic takes the lead. He goes wide though, and as you fair, a lot of the cars go wide there. Radic goes out really wide. He's going to get sucked up here by Wazza, who's going to try and creep into P2 here. So Wazza goes through here, and he's going to try and dive down the inside of Hooper going into the turn 2 here. Is he going to... He's late on the brakes. Is he thinking of... Yeah, he's shoved his Bentley up the inside there. They've given him just enough gap there. Resch gets... so he had to slam his brakes on a little bit there, and that's allowed the Porsche of Radic to go back around the outside here. But it is Hooper that does survive the first initial corners here, and it will lead going round into turn 4 or turn 3, sorry. And then it is Wazza though with a good start here up into P2. I don't think he'd have been wishing if you'd have offered him P2 after half a lap on lap 1, he'd have taken it. Yeah, it is, like I said, so the race is currently in 3rd at the minute, but it is Radic that is in 3rd here. And then, Aresh in 4th. Simon is sat there in 5th with Kaspari in 6th still. So it's all as you were there at the front. I didn't see any yellow flags out there, but there is a driver at the back, the number 5. That is Rayner. So it looks like Rayner potentially had an issue at the start here. He's now down at the back. And there's Delhi down there as well. We'll keep an eye on that one in a minute, but we'll just run with Hooper for the first lap here as he comes down into the last corner. He's got a nice lead there, and there's Radic all over the back of Wazza, and there's Aresh now going to try and make a move on Radic. Radic goes defensive. Aresh is going to have to try and go around the outside, but we do know that if you can get the run, they do tap again here though. That might have just been a bit of a glitch in the game, but Aresh there dives down the inside. Did say Aresh does have the aggressive drive moves. The Porsche goes in. He hits the other Porsche here. I think Simon collides it there. That Radic is out, and obviously he's got his car going again here, but that is a big crash. And this is the big difference between this and Paul Ricard, as I said, because you do obviously, when you come off the track here, you are going to find the barrier. So he has got 2 Fords behind him here of Koch and Tulloch. Koch just tries to dive down the inside here, Radic, but I don't know what came together here. Worth mentioning as well, Zampolini's up into P18 after 1 lap here. So that is a good start by him because he started in P35, and Zampolini is making moves through the field straight away, and he's going to try and get around the outside of Van der Waal. Let's see, Van der Waal here, sorry, or was that Fast R? But Zampolini here trying to carve his way through the field, but back up at the front it is still Hooper that takes the lead. Wazza is in P2, and Aresh again is involved in an incident on the track, but this time with the Porsche of Radic. So I wonder how many times he's going to keep escaping penalties here. Well, obviously, I know in the last race it wasn't his issue, but obviously there's going to, I don't know, there keeps being incidents with Aresh and other drivers, so we have to keep an eye on that one as the races go on. But Kaspari here is in P4, so he's capitalised on those little incidents. He's now chasing down Aresh here for the podium spots. Roberts here in P5. Palmer is in P6, a good start by him. Simon lost a couple of places, but I think that's because he collided with Radic there as he came around the track. Grace has made up 2 spots at the start. He's in P8 with Cobb in P9. Good little BMW battle here between 8th and 9th. And then it is Sharp here. I think has he fallen down a little bit at the start there? But he is now in P10. And then we're going to go with, so Caruana is in P11 here. I'm just going to try for the order to see what's going on. Vex in P12. Hymans is in P13 here. Brown here under a bit of attack from Zampolini. Zampolini was in 18th, now in 15th. Like I said, he is the man on the move. He is now trying to put pressure on Brown here. Zampolini is showing his why he's one of the early sort of contenders in the championship. He's going to dive down the inside of Brown here. I don't think Brown's going to put up too much of a fight. They go side by side, but he does yield, and that allows Zampolini to get through as well. But now he's under pressure from King. This is Brown and King side by side. Brown will have the inside line for the next corner, though, and I don't know if King is going to try and hold that around the outside. He does. He pins it to the floor. Can he keep it on the track, though? Or he just misses that gravel, but Brown again is holding that inside line, and I think in a minute King is going to get this move done because he's going to have the inside line for the next corner, but Brown is still holding that, just that position ahead. That is great respectful driving from King and Brown there. And it is Brown that does live for another day, and he does stay ahead of King. And now Van der Waal is trying to get his way back past King as well. And he's now under pressure from Rogers. Rogers dives down the inside of King. Now you can see now Radic, who was the fastest driver in qualifying alongside Hooper, is now down in P19 with damage. It's unfortunate for Radic. He did have a great opportunity here to move himself up the championship order. Look at these drivers. There's like 5-6 drivers all going around into the same corner at the same time. And Radic here side by side with Rogers. They tap now, so it's Radic getting involved in a few bumps around here at the minute. But this is side by side. The McLaren in front, is that going to become? It's going to block the Porsche from. Yes, obviously Stu's going to dive down the inside there. They're actually scraping alongside each other here, and it is Radic with the aggressive move that does get that done. And it is now going to be Tulloch and the rest of the Ford Mustangs behind trying to get past Stu Rogers as well. Serpentine here, currently P23. I think he qualified in P30, so that's a good start from him. Fetzer currently in P24 with pressure from Prentice behind. This is a battle for 24th and 25th. They have Pospisil behind, who is currently in P26. I think he's lost a few positions at the start. And then we have Mertens here in P27, Danko P28. And Duran here behind. He is putting pressure on that Porsche, on Danko here. He has not one but 2 BMWs to try and pass. Duran here trying. I think he just tapped the back of the BMW there, so the BMW goes flying off. He is in the gravel there, and Duran I think was trying to yield and get back past. He's slowing down here. I think he's going to try and let Danko back through. So as Danko comes around to catch up with Duran, I think Duran is going to yield that position back, but that is bad news for both of them because they've lost I think 4 or 5 positions. So as Danko goes through, Duran will pop back in, but I think just crashed in the back of him a little bit there, a bit of a driver incident. But that's allowed Nelson to go through. Paulson, Gedman here under a bit of pressure from Rayner. The Mercedes should have the straight line speed on the Porsche, and Rayner is going to try and dive down the inside here on Gedman, and he should get the move done here. Gedman's going to try and hold the outside line, but surely look at this, the 3 guys. We have Rayner, Gedman, and we have the McLaren of Danko. Surely 3 isn't going to go into 1 around the next corner. Gedman is still trying to hold that inside line. Rayner creeps through. The straight line speed of the Mercedes AMG does see him through, and obviously you can see Gedman going around the outside there. But that was a great bit of driving by those 3 there. But it is Rayner that comes out on top, and then it is Duran here currently in last place, obviously because of that incident. But back up at the front, Hooper does have the fastest lap. And there must have been another incident out there between Wazza and Arash potentially, because whilst we were looking at all of that, Hooper is in the lead by 5 seconds. Kaspari now second place, 5 seconds back. Wazza is 1.3 seconds behind him. And then Arash is down in P8. So I'm not sure what's happened there, guys. I don't know if anyone was looking at anything different in the chat. But Arash now finds himself down in P8. So there has been an incident at the front. And it is, to be fair, Sparrow, that man on the move, though. He's the fastest driver out there. He's just knocked half a second off of Hooper in that last lap. But, something big must have happened at the front. And apologies for missing it out there, like I said, because we were looking through the order there. But Wazza, who was in second, now finds himself down in third. Kaspari up in the second place and the fastest driver out there. Wazza is under pressure from Roberts. Roberts can now smell a potential podium opportunity here. Although it is Simon who's going to try and dive down the inside of Roberts here. We were going to see quite a few dive bombs out there today. I'm not sure exactly what happened out there, but yes, it's unfortunate for these guys. Arash has got himself back past Cobb and up into P7. There must have been some sort of incident. I don't know if it could have been avoiding action. I'm sure we'll hear about it at the end or see some replays. Apologies, because we were going through the order there, but Palmer here is currently in P6. He's the lead Ford Mustang driver. We have, what, 5 manufacturers in the top... No, sorry, 5 manufacturers in the top 6. 2 McLarens. But it is, Hooper that is leading the way. But it is... Kaspari is the man on the move. I don't know if maybe Hooper got involved in the incident because he seems to be losing a bit of time on Kaspari behind. Because Kaspari's caught up by 0.8 of a second since we've been back at the front of the battle here. And Woz has fallen off the back of Kaspari as well. So Kaspari looks like he's got, he can sort of sense the potential. There's a race win that he can potentially steal here. So as he crosses the line, does it improve down from 4.2? And as he crosses the line, goes to 3.8. So yes, he's caught up again. So has Hooper got some damage? Or is he just potentially, just looking after those tyres? Because Kaspari has taken 1.2 seconds out of his lap, but I don't know if it is maybe Hooper, because you can see Wazza's now 2.1 seconds behind, and Roberts is on the same sort of pace as Wazza here. So maybe it is just the fact that Kaspari has found another gear and he's flying down, just flying down the track trying to catch up with Hooper here. Arash is actually under pressure here from Simon as well. So Simon's under pressure from Arash. Sorry. So Arash, who was in P8. Did try and make an overtake on Simon, now finds himself back down in behind in P7, but I think Arash is, I can't see much damage or anything on his car, so unless someone had an incident, like crash potentially, and everyone had to try and take avoidant action, but I can't see any obvious damage on any of these cars ahead. It's also worth mentioning here as well that Zampolini is now up into P10, so he started in P35, now P10 in this race, chasing down Sharp in P9. Zampolini is, not what I would say, he's not actually that far off of the front really, he's only about, we'd say, 10 seconds off the front of the cars. So I'd say Zampolini does have a great opportunity here to potentially put pressure on and maybe get himself up the order. Just looking back at the front here, so Kaspari now is, it was 3.2, it is now 3.4, but Wazza's fallen off again. See, Wazza has fallen off by another second on Kaspari, but like I said, Roberts and the rest of the field aren't really catching up. So I think it is just, potentially, I don't think there is any damage here, because I was looking at Hoopert's car. I can't see damage on that car. I can't see even any kind of scratches or dents or anything. And then obviously, Kaspari's car is fine as well. And then looking at like Wazza and everything, I don't know, potentially what happened. I don't know if anyone can kind of fill me in. But it looks like it's just potentially there must have been some sort of like avoiding action by a few drivers has kind of helped him fall down the order a little bit. But it is Wazza now 3 seconds off the back of Kaspari, and Roberts trying to put pressure on Wazza here, but he's 0.8 of a second back. Palmer still holding firm in, well, he's up to 5th now. So I guess is someone else falling down the order again, because a minute ago they were in 6th, weren't they? So and also unless Palmer got past Simon, and Simon's lost 2 places to 2 forwards here, because Arash looks like he has, oh no, it keeps saying Arash is ahead of Simon, but Simon keeps fighting back here. So we'll run with this one for a second. Let's just ride in with Arash as he tries to chase down this Porsche of Simon. We do know Simon is one of the faster drivers in the Taco Tuesday series, and he is now trying to defend against the championship leader Arash. I think Simon, like I said, is P4 in the championship, so you can see he's got Simon's got himself in between a Ford Mustang sandwich here, and Arash here, Arash seems to be able to get better exits out of the corners here, and he is going to try and chase on this Porsche. I think it's just a case of try and I think he's got the inside line this time. So, but again, Simon's holding that outside line. He pins it around the outside. Arash has to be careful, and Arash now tucks it back in behind Simon. You'd like to think this time round he is going to potentially make that move. You can see he's closing in. Is he going to try and get that inside line? Is Simon going to try and defend it? No, Simon sticks to the outside line. That's an interesting move, because Arash should now dive down the inside, so maybe Simon just thought better of it. But again, Simon pins that Porsche around the outside line. So this is an interesting thing, because Arash clearly has the straight line speed. He keeps trying to dive down the inside of Simon, but Simon then just holds and pins that Porsche through its great handling ability around the outside of Arash, and Arash cannot make his way back through. So this battle is going to be going for some time now. And again, it's worth mentioning that Kaspari has caught up now, 2.8 seconds behind Hooper, and Wazza's now fallen back 4 seconds back. And Roberts has started to creep up on Wazza here now as well. So again, this is a driver that's trying to make a move on a potential podium. I think this will be Roberts' first podium of the Taco Tuesday season. And yeah, it's just him and that big red Bentley ahead of him. This is between him and that potential chance at a podium. We're coming up to a quarter way in this race, and it is still all to play for. Zampolini, actually, just worth mentioning as well, he has moved himself up into P9. So it looks like Sharp is falling down a couple of positions. So Zampolini's got through, Grace has got through, now Sharp's down in P11. So I don't know if there's a little nudge there potentially. But Zampolini now is making his way up the order. And as we can see, Simon has opted to pit here. So Simon, who was under pressure from Arash, is the first driver to pull the trigger. So I saw that. So Delhi has pitted as well, and Van der Wall, but I thought he was the first driver. But yeah, so Simon, the first driver from the front drivers, is now in the pits. So I wonder if someone like Arash is gonna. I don't know if the record will. I don't think he's going to panic too much by seeing that, because I think Arash did think he had the faster speed, so he may stay out there for a little bit longer. But Arash now and Zampolini are separated on the track by only 0.7 of a second. They've had it coming together, we believe, in race 1 and in race 2. So let's see if they can get through cleanly this time. It is the BMW of Cobb ahead. So I presume, again, there must have been a little bit of an incident here, because Cobb does find himself in between this battle. I think, so unless maybe Arash went a little bit wide here, because... work out, yeah, because obviously Simon, it was Simon, and I'm not sure how Cobb's got ahead of Arash here, but again, they must have just maybe just capitalised on those two fighting a little bit, and then maybe got his way through. But Cobb here is now 3.6 seconds off the back of Palmer, but Arash is going to try and make a move on him here. But Cobb is putting up a bit of a defensive work here, and you can see so Arash has responded to Simon's pit stop, and he has gone in the pits. I did think maybe he was going to stay out there, but now he's got stuck behind Cobb. I don't think he wants to be affected too much by Simon's faster tyres. So Zampolini has got his way through, so that means maybe that was wise, Zampolini and Arash staying off the same part of the track for a while. But yeah, Zampolini now up in P7, he is the man on the move. Kaspari now, it's 2.4 seconds off the back of Hooper. So Hooper's doing okay to manage that pressure from Kaspari, but at some point he is going to start to feel that pressure, because it is he's getting closer there as well. And it is, again, looking here at Roberts, I think has had a bad run out of that hairpin, and Palmer's in on the action here as well. So Palmer here is looking at both those drivers ahead. You can see that, Roberts is going to dive down the inside here. He's got the move done on the Bentley, but can Palmer make it from bad to worse here I see that. I thought Wazza was going to dive back down the inside there, but no. So Palmer now is going to try and make the move on Wazza as well. But Roberts here now has an opportunity to scamper up the road and sort of put some pressure, or take some pressure off himself, on that podium position. I don't know if Wazza's just... it looked like he made a bit of a mistake there, because he was a bit wide coming out of that hairpin on turn 2. And or turn 3, I'm not sure if you count that left-hander as a turn 2. But Wazza here now, rather than trying to attack Roberts, is trying to defend from Palmer. So Palmer's going to try and make his day from bad to worse, moving from 3rd to 5th in the space of a couple of corners. So Palmer right up behind Wazza here. Is he going to try and make a move down into the first corner? I think he's going to think better of it, sit back, and then he's maybe going to try and take a run up. Oh, no, it's unfortunate for Palmer. He hits that. So that's the problem. If you hit that yellow sausage on the left-hand side and your car's suspension isn't set up right, you bounce straight over to the left-hand side of the track. Looks like actually Hoopert's made a good run up at the front here, because he's now actually 3.3 seconds off of Kaspari. So he's managed to buy himself a bit of breathing space. But with Hooper and Wazza battling here, they're now 4.7 seconds back. Just to go back actually to one of the battles that we talked about earlier, it was that Simon and Arash. So Simon actually, just by pitting 1 lap earlier, has gained almost 5 seconds on Arash. So Arash is now 4.5 seconds back. Here's worth mentioning as well that Pospisil has pitted, Delhi has pitted, and Van der Wall has pitted, and Simon as well, obviously, as we know. But Simon here is the net pit leader of this race. So don't rule him out as a potential podium contender now, because if you think about everyone else is battling, so Wazza and Roberts, they're all battling, and Simon here has such clean track. He has got so much space ahead of him, such clean air, that obviously when you look at people like Wazza, Roberts and Palmer here all fighting, don't be surprised if when these guys pit, people like Simon and Aresh all just end up being massively ahead of them. I don't know if anyone who's racing is listening to the broadcast, but I'm telling you now that if you're somewhere in the top 10 and you pit, you're going to have ridiculous clean air ahead of you, because it is currently right now the Porsche and the Ford, they are... Oh, what's happened there with Palmer? I think Palmer's had a bit of a wobble there coming out of the first corner again. And I think he maybe hit that same sausage curb, and he is now, he's falling right down from the back of the order, and that's going to start to attract Zampolini in behind him. Zampolini currently in P6, got past Cobb now, and Zampolini's trying to make his way up into the front of the battle. Again, Kaspari has caught up at the front, and he is now only 2.8 seconds off the back of Hooper. We'll take this moment actually whilst the race is starting to settle in to talk about obviously our Patreon again. So Patreon is obviously the way that you can support your racing community you're part of. So if you are obviously part of Formula Racing League right now, and you like what the events and stuff that they're doing, and that you like you want to kind of help support and help run the organisation, then obviously Patreon is a way of doing that. You can obviously get access to your private servers. You help with the rental cost of the servers, and obviously you help keep the broadcasters and obviously all the the graphic work and all that kind of stuff that all the things you love about FRL. It all comes from all of your support. So if you can support Patreon, with just £1 or whatever, you can commit to a monthly, small monthly fee, or you can just commit a one-off payment. But anything you do to help out the league and keep it running is greatly appreciated. But as such, at the minute, what we are doing is supporting our admins, and we're supporting our teams, obviously, and obviously all the people that do support us. So we do try and do a bit of an article on a few of the drivers out there today, and we're going to start with Brown. Brown here, we're going to look at some of his stats from last season. So Brown, in the season 15 of Taco Tuesday, this is Gordon Brown, which we're talking about here. He ran the Bentley last season. In these 8 races, he didn't manage to get any wins and podiums, but he did finish in the top 10 twice last season, accruing 194 points and finishing 11th in the championship, so one position outside of the top 10. Currently in P30 in this race as well, so he does have the speed and potential to get himself back up into the top 10 as well. So we'll just ride with Brown for a while and see what he's doing. I think he's currently chasing down Radic here, but if you look at this battle here, right ahead of him here, you've got Caruana in that McLaren at the front there, and he has then got the 2 Ferraris of Kravec and Hymans ahead of him, then Radic in behind, we do know, with the limping damaged Porsche. So this is, potentially here, this is a chance for Brown to finish in the top 10 for, well, like I said, he got 2 top 10 finishes last season, and this time round he has got an opportunity to, potentially get himself 1 top 10 after 3 races. So, he can literally see all 4 drivers ahead of him here as he comes around to start his next lap. Obviously, if I was Brown and I was looking at this race here, I'd be thinking about potentially going in the pits and trying to undercut every single one of these drivers, because you do know if you get in the pits, you do get some clean air. As he does look like he's going to dive down the inside here, and he's going to put on a little bit of a show for us. As I say that, though, he has got a Sharp behind him now, putting him under pressure. Normally, he said last time he went onto one of these things, Brown did bin it into, he spun around at Paul Ricard. But unfortunately for Brown, it looks like rather than he was about to attack Hymans to get himself up into P12, and he is now defending from Sharp, and as Sharp dives on the inside, Brown will move himself down. Oh no, he's going to try and hold that back. That seems to be the go-to move at the minute. If someone dives down the inside of you around here, you can pin it around the outside and you get the straight line speed to get back around again. So Brown putting up a good fight here. Sharp is going to hold him down the inside line, but Brown is, again, looks like he's got ahead of the move here. So yeah, so that is, so Brown, obviously, the league console admin here. He's, good racer. So we're hoping that he can potentially get himself up into the top 10 this week. There's 2 more drivers we'll cover a little bit later on in the race, but Brown here having a good little battle here with the guys around him. This is the Honda battle here between Sharp and Brown. This is going to be going on hopefully for the rest of the race, but as obviously what Sharp and Brown have to be careful with here as well is that they've got a bit of pressure. There's obviously 4 potential overtakes ahead of them, so they don't want to be battling each other too hard. But Brown here putting on a bit of a show for us, and we wish him all the best. We'll come back and check on him later on today. But back up at the front, there has been a bit of an issue, and we're going to go and cover this now. Hoopert's still in the lead. Roberts now up to P2. Palmer up to P3 and Zampolini up to P4. Kaspari, who was at one point looking like he was going to challenge for the race win, now finds himself down in P5. So I'm not sure what's happened here as well, because Walsh is down in P6. So I guess, I don't know if Kaspari's maybe had an incident, chasing up, maybe just went a bit too, put too much pressure on that car and went a bit wide. But again, he has lost position on second place. But Hooper here is going to have a great bit of breathing space, because now Roberts is 10 seconds down, or wouldn't I say 9.1 seconds back from the lead. So that's going to allow Hooper a bit of breathing space up at the front. Palmer, though, finds himself now in a podium potential position here. And then Zampolini is in P4. Just to go back down the back of the order, though, because it was Simon, like I said, it is the net pit leader, and he still has so much clean air. Arash has closed that gap from 4.5 seconds down to 2.2 seconds, but Simon won't be worried too much. These drivers haven't had to contend with anything. So I would be as bold to say that I wouldn't rule out Simon and Arash finishing in second and third in this race. Even maybe challenging Hooper here, because all the other drivers are all squabbling over each other and battling and tripping over each other. And it is actually these two drivers, Simon and Arash, that are just going about their business quietly and pushing in lap time after lap time after lap time. So don't rule them out of potentially moving themselves up the order. I know the other drivers will have fresher tyres come the end of the race, but yeah, it is quite an interesting one to kind of see where they pop up when everyone else is inside the pit. Radic obviously was involved in that incident at the start and had a great opportunity to potentially, a challenge for the race win here. I wonder if he's going to repair his damage. That's a call he has to make later on in the race. Let's make a call now, but obviously it may affect him later on in the race if he doesn't actually, if he doesn't repair it. He might just lose a bit of lap time. Sometimes, if it's only like 10 or so seconds, you actually gain more by, I find, just repairing it, because you lose seconds every single lap, and it just affects you over the course of the race. Let's have a look through the order then, guys. We'll go back to front. So obviously, because we do know that Van der Waal currently is in P34. We have had one retirement from this race. I'm not sure who, though. Delhi is in P33 here, but he's quite far back from the rest of the field. Pospisil is a few corners ahead. He's in P32, trying to chase down Serpentine. Serpentine obviously hasn't actually pitted yet. Arash here is chasing down Simon for what is the net pit leader of the race. And then Radic here coming out of the pit lane now. He's going to be a bit further back behind these guys. We can see a driver there spin. That is the number 215 car. That is Serpentine has spun around. He did say he wasn't very good at this track, and he's proving why. Gedman here is currently in P27. He's 8 seconds back off of Danko, trying to chase him down. The Porsches do seem pretty lively out here today, although when you look at the board here, they're all at the back. Obviously, that's because two of them have pitted. Danko here is trying to chase down Duran here. This is 25 versus 25th and 26th positions here. And then obviously Danko and Duran did have that bit of a coming together earlier. Nelson, who did finish top 10 in one of his, I think it was at Paul Ricard, finds himself down in P24 in this race. And then it is Paulson here in P23. He is going steadily about it, but he's got 4 seconds. He needs to catch up on Mertens ahead. Mertens here is, again, 5.8 seconds back from Rayner. Rayner is in a bit of a race of his own. He's got 5 seconds behind him, 8 seconds ahead of him. He's trying to chase down Fast R for what would be 18th place at the minute. Jack Prentice is also chasing down Kopch at the minute. This is Prentice, P17, Kopch P16, looks like, and he has Fast R behind him. So that's a battle here between 16th, 17th and 18th. So a good chance to get some good midfield points there today. Fetz again is stretching pace. He's 2.8 seconds ahead of that battle there, and he's only just behind Tulloch ahead. So there's 4 Ford Mustangs on the track all in a row together here, because just ahead of Tulloch is Rogers, who is then, I think it's like King just ahead of them, 1.5 seconds back. So, 4 Mustangs all in a row. Rogers here trying to put pressure on King. This is a battle for 12th and 13th currently. But obviously, there are drivers behind that have pitted. And then we have, King, obviously, so like I said, in 12th. And then it is Brown, currently in P11. I think he must have lost out on that battle. Oh, no, looks like he did. I think we might have potentially had Sharp go in the pits, have we? Yeah, Sharp's going in the pits, yeah. So I wonder if Brown is going to react to that pit stop. He is chasing down Hyman's currently, only 0.6 of a second back, actually. It looks like he's trying to dive down the inside of him here. Oh, actually, I don't know if that is that which McLaren? That's the McLaren of Caruana. He now has Brown for company. Brown going to try and make a move around the outside. We'll just run with this one for a second for the next couple of corners. Caruana holding the inside line on Brown here. This is a battle for 10th and 11th. Looks like Caruana's going to hold that inside line. Brown's going to try and take it around the outside, but I don't know if on that corner the go around the outside is the best move. The Caruana does hold out for the moment. Kvek here is currently in P8. He's 5.8 seconds off the back of Grace. Grace trying to chase down Cobb in the battle of the BMW. This is 6th and 7th currently. Grace is 2.3 seconds back, and then Cobb is only 0.9 of a second off the back of Wazza. So Cobb having a good race here today. Wazza's still doing quite well in that Bentley, although he has opted to go in the pits now, so he is reacting to what's going on around him. Zampolini now up into P4, chasing down, as he looks like Zampolini has just made the move on Palmer. So good exit out of that last corner, and going down into turn 1. Zampolini has moved himself up into P3, and he is now chasing down Roberts for second place in this race. Now don't forget here, guys, Zampolini qualified in P35, so he's actually clawed his way back up into third in this race, which is insane driving by him. And he now only has 0.7 of a second to go if he wants to get past Roberts. And after that, he's got some lovely clean air. It's 9.3 seconds up the road to Hooper, who is currently leading this race. So back down at the front is Kaspari, who has come out ahead of Simon. This is what I was saying about potentially those drivers having the opportunity to challenge at the front. But actually, based off the fact that Kaspari has come back out and he's ahead of Simon, means that actually Simon's probably net 6th, net 7th here. So unless Kaspari's just had a really, really good pit stop, we will have a bit more of an answer when Wazza comes in the pit. So Wazza currently, sat stationary in the pit lane now. And where is Kaspari here? Because Kaspari's coming down the straight now. Okay, so Wazza was in P5. You can see Kaspari, Simon, and Aresh all coming through now. And Wazza's going to lose 3 places here. So this is what I was talking about. So maybe Kaspari just had a really good pit stop here, because Kaspari was at one point in P2, and Simon and Aresh are chasing him down here, and it looks like, I don't know if Wazza just had a bit of a slow stop there, but Wazza now, unless he had an incident, is coming out, and he is going to fall down behind all these guys, so that's unfortunate for him. We still have well over 20 cars in this field yet to pit, and it is Roberts now reacting to what's going on around him. It looks like everything's falling into place for Zampolini at the minute. So Zampolini is 10.9 seconds off of the back of Hooper, actually. But he is under a bit of pressure from Palmer here. Let's just stay with this one for a second. So this is Palmer on Zampolini. So Palmer now trying to make a move back past. But this is obviously good news for Roberts, because the more these two squabble, the more it is going to allow, obviously, Roberts to potentially get back out ahead of these guys, because he's going to have the fresher tyres as well. But yeah, Palmer here back in behind, as he's right up behind. He's going to try and go to the inside now of the Aston Martin, and as he holds that line, the Aston Martin is going to try and dive it down the inside. Palmer's going to try again to go around the outside, but I think Zampolini will hold the inside line for the next corner. This is good racing by these guys here. They're not even touching, and there's such good close racing, and it looks like Palmer does tuck itself back in behind. So Zampolini and Palmer put on a bit of a masterclass here from these two drivers. Rainer's just tagging him behind. He is a lap down here, but Palmer is, I wonder if Zampolini's on the inside line here, so I wonder if that means he's going to go in the pits here. Looks like Zampolini is opting to pit. That's going to allow Palmer to cruise around the outside and get himself up into P2. And all the while these guys keep swabbling, so that means that Hooper is just going to scamper up the road. This potentially is going to be a great win for Hooper if he can keep on track here. 12.8 seconds now he has clear the top, as we can see Cobb going in the pits as well. Back up at the front, actually, Roberts does get back out ahead of these drivers here. So actually, other than so I'm looking at this now, that means Zampolini's going to truck straight into this battle here. So yeah, you've got Roberts, and then you've got Kaspari just behind, only 0.6 of a second. Then Simon is 1.9 seconds behind them, and then the rest 1.4 behind him here. So that means, I think, Zampolini is going to pop in somewhere around that area. So where is Roberts now? So Roberts is coming around the back straight. Where is... I'm trying to see if Zampolini is going to... is he still stationary? So Zampolini is... he's still stationary now. Where is Roberts coming out here? I want to see where this guy's going to come out. So they're coming around the last couple of corners now. He's coming around onto the home straight. You can see Zampolini has finished his pit stop. He is coming up to the first corner, and I think Roberts should cruise past here. You can see, there you go. So you can see Zampolini just coming out of the pit section now. So that's Roberts coming through now. They're coming around here. And you should say Zampolini on the inside there. So Zampolini should tuck himself in ahead of Simon. So as he comes out, yeah, you go. There's Simon just ahead of him, and then Arash just behind. So this is literally second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth net in the track right now. So I wonder if Palmer, as we can see, Hooper now reacts, and he's going to go in the pits. So, but I wonder, so that means Palmer's coming in the pits now as well. So literally after this lap now, oh no, is there a stop and go 30 penalty for someone? So Farstar has got a stop and go 30 penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So unfortunate for him. But yeah, this is good news for everyone. So Roberts actually is going to come out, and he has ended up back in P2 with Kaspari. Actually, Kaspari's probably the biggest winner of that pit stop round, because he had a big incident, didn't he, and fouled himself down the order. He's now going to find himself up into P3, potentially. Depends where Palmer comes out here. So Palmer is still stationary again. This is going to be the big one. So they're coming around the back of the track now. You can look at this. That is literally all of the leaders all there together. Obviously, other than Hooper, which is probably going to be miles ahead. Yes, Hooper's coming out of the pit lane now, so he's going to comfortably be in the lead. And then where is Palmer? So Palmer is now exiting the pit lane, and we can see that Roberts is coming down the start-finish straight. So I think Palmer here is coming up to the start now. So yeah, there you go. So this is going to be the same again. So Roberts and Kaspari, I think, are going to get through, as you can see there. So I think they're going to be side by side with Zampolini. So Zampolini has those fresher tyres, helped him come out ahead. It looks like, actually, no, it is going to be Palmer that's going to have managed to get through here. So you can see Zampolini is going to be able to see Palmer just ahead of him. So that means that actually after all the pit stops, it is going to be Roberts is the big winner coming out in P2. Kaspari, who's managed to recover a few positions, gets ahead of these guys in P3. And then we've got Palmer and Zampolini. And just behind, Simon 1.2 seconds back. And then Arash 1.2 seconds back. So every single one of these drivers all has the potential chance to get on the podium today. And yeah, I couldn't even call it myself, guys. This could go any way, as you can see Zampolini putting pressure on here. It is Hooper that has got out, like I said, quite comfortably in the lead here. He's got, you know, we'll see when they go across the timeline now. It should tell us how far they are ahead. Yeah, 12 seconds. So Hooper, all he has to do is just keep the car on the track, and he should have this one sewn up here. And whilst this starts to unfold a little bit, we will obviously take our time, like I said, when we're talking about the Patreon. So obviously we are trying to support our admins and Patreon supporters out there today. So we are going to switch now to the second driver of the day, and that will be Sharp. So Sharp here is currently in P15. If we have a look at his feedback from last season. So Sharp, actually, like I said, was one of the people we spoke about early in the season. So he raced 9 races last season, didn't win any races, got 2 podiums, but every single race he raced in last season, he finished in the top 10. He finished 3rd in the championship in a Ferrari, and he finished with 257 points. So last season, he looked like he was, yeah, one of the sort of the main fast drivers out there. He hasn't necessarily gone his way this time around, but yeah, unfortunately, it's. Yeah, obviously he's still battling hard, and you know, potentially can steal a few top 10s this season. I'm just yeah, going to ride with him now. So he's now chasing down Radic here. So this is I think they're just trying to, is that past the back marker there? Yeah. So Radic here, like I said, he was at one point he was the fastest qualifier out there alongside Hooper, and yeah, he's just had that bit of damage. It doesn't look like he has repaired that. So that isn't a full speed Porsche. That is a Porsche that's limping around today's track. And it is, yeah, Sharp here is going to try and capitalise on this one. That we do know that, yeah, Sharp and Brown are having a bit of a battle out there in the Honda NSX this championship, and it is Sharp that is leading that battle so far. Sharp would love nothing more than to get past Radic and then chase down the future, sort of, you know, the other drivers that are out there. But yeah, I think he's just, obviously the pace of this championship has increased. But in this, obviously, yeah, just Sharp hasn't. I think he's probably hampered himself a little bit by picking a Honda NSX. I think Sharp has more raw pace than he's showing, obviously, in this car. And it is, yes, you can see he's set to 28.8. Not a bad lap time with fuel, but yeah, he did have a bit of a yeah, a bit of a hard task, obviously, with this car here, and he is, like I said, he is trying to make moves on that on that Porsche head. But yeah, Sharp here, like I said, he is one of our driver profiles of the day, and we'll sort of wish him all the best as this race and the season goes on. He is doing a good job at keeping ahead of Brown currently. Brown, obviously, one of the other drivers we looked at, and there will be one more we'll look at in about 10 minutes time. But I just wanted to quickly allude on, it looks like Kaspari maybe has had another incident here, because he now finds himself down in, there's been something happened here, because Kaspari, who was chasing down Roberts in P2, now finds himself down in P10. I don't know if Kaspari has now been involved in 2 incidents, but look at this battling here. This is Grace, Cobb. So this is Zampolini, and then behind him is Grace, and then behind him is Cobb, and then we have Wazza and Kaspari. So all of these drivers are racing for position currently. This is a fantastic bit of battling here between what is 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th. There must have been another incident out there as well, because we do know that Zampolini was chasing down these drivers. So I wonder if Zampolini and is Palmer, because Palmer's still out there, and Zampolini was chasing him down. So I wonder if Kaspari and Zampolini have had a bit of a coming together, because it's all the big incidents at the front we seem to have missed today. But obviously we've got to cover everyone's everyone's battling here. But Kaspari, who's been involved in 2 incidents I think today, has now finds himself having to get past Cobb, Wazza and Grace if he is going to try and compete back up for a podium place, as he tries to make a move here on Cobbs. He dives down the inside. If you're going to try and hold that inside line, and then, but so far it hasn't really worked for a lot of people today. But it looks like the Audi maybe has got a bit more further ahead than most. Looks like he's almost got that move done before he gets to the corner. And he should be able to then exit out onto the left-hand side. So that's a good move, well done. Obviously Wazza here as well is putting pressure on Grace here as he tries to make a move to get himself up into P6. Looks like he's trying to go the long way around here, and he has got the speed on the BMW. You can see that BMW has been involved in an incident because he has got front end damage. And as Wazza bumps into that BMW, Kaspari capitalises and moves himself up one more position. He now goes up into P7, and he has to try and get past that wounded BMW. So I wonder if that BMW was part of the reason why we now see Zampolini and Kaspari a bit down the order a little bit. It is worth mentioning at the front as well that Roberts has taken out 1 second on Hooper. It was a 12-second gap after the pit stops. It is now only an 11-second gap. And as Roberts crosses the line, it's 11.1. So he has got a bit of breathing space over Palmer behind him. Palmer is 3.3 seconds behind, and he has 4.6 seconds on a Resch behind. So at the minute, the championship leader might not be getting on the podium unless he can find a bit more speed and catch up with Palmer. But it is quite hard to catch up sometimes when you're chasing someone with the same machinery. Zampolini is behind 3.7 seconds back, so I can't see much damage on that car as well, so I don't know what's happened there. But it is Grace creating a bit of a bottleneck now, because instead he has Kaspari, Cobb, Wazza, Radic. Yeah, that is literally 6th place down to, is that Kravic behind? Yeah, there you go, so Kravic is behind there. So that is 6th down to 12th, all on one part of the track. That's insane viewing, obviously. So obviously you can see from the back here, Kravic can see every single one of these drivers. So as we come down to the right-hander here, you'll be able to see every single one of those drivers. That's 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and then obviously Kravic in 12th. So there is a potential opportunity for these drivers here to get a lot of positions on track. So I think it is. So it must be the fact that Grace has that front end damage, but obviously BMW still has great frontline speed. But it is, he has created a bit of a bottleneck now, and they are tumbling a bit further back, because Grace is now 4.4 seconds off the back of Zampolini. So Kaspari is going to try his best to get past as quickly as possible, because he wants to move his way up the order and move himself up the championship order as well. Kaspari just thinks better of it as he's going to try and dive down the inside there. Palmer's holding firm here in 3rd place. He's still only 3.4 seconds back, and Resch actually has fallen back a bit. He's now 5.2 seconds back. So I wonder if Palmer and Roberts are starting to settle into a good rhythm here. But back a little bit behind, let's have a look at how the other races are going. Serpentine is now opting to pit, but he is some way down. He said he's not having a great race here today. Fastar is in 32nd. It looks like we have had another retirement as well, because obviously there was 35 at the start. It is now 33. Van der Waal is in 31st, currently trying to chase down Gedman, who is only 2.2 seconds off the back of Delhi in 29th. Gedman currently rounding out the top 30. Nelson is ahead of, Delhi is trying to chase down Nelson here. That is a battle for 29th and 30th. McLaren versus Ferrari, but Nelson has a 3.3 second gap to, actually there must have been a bit of a miss to someone there, because Gedman is now up into P28, so I wonder if there's been an incident or whether obviously Gedman already passed those cars. Mertens is in 27th. He's trying to chase down Danko in a BMW. That is a battle for 26th and 27th. Danko actually is right behind Paulson here. That is a battle for 25th and 26th here. So there's still a lot of battles out there and a lot of points to be taken. So this is Danko on Paulson. Paulson actually has a 3.2 second gap to Doran ahead, who obviously is in a bit of a battle of his own here because he has 3.2 seconds back, and he's obviously 7.5 seconds off the back of Rayner. Rayner having a bit of a better race today. He's up in the P23, so it's a good little points haul for him. Come the end of the day, he's trying to chase down Pospisil. Pospisil also is looks like he's in a bit of a battle with Stu Rogers here, but Stu Rogers might potentially. Looks like Pospisil has got past. Yes, yeah, so Pospisil has just passed Stu Rogers. The Stu Rogers is now down in 22nd. He now has Rayner for company, trying to put pressure on him behind. So this is a battle. They're about 10 seconds or 9.1 seconds off the back of the top 20. So this may be the main battle they're going to have today between 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. They're in a bit of a on the track by themselves a little bit here. And then Kopsch here is trying to chase down Prentice here for, this is a position for 19th and 20th, but Kopsch has 3 seconds back on Prentice. Prentice has only 1.3 seconds on the back of Kings. This is a good battle here for 18th and 19th, and then King has another 3 seconds up the road in order to get to Caruana. Caruana is trying to chase down Hyman's here for a battle for 16th and 17th. Like I said, all through the field, there are like opportunities for people to make overtakes, and then Hyman's here, like I said, is chasing down Tulloch for 15th, but he's about 2 seconds back currently. Tulloch has 1.1 seconds to catch up on Fetzer, and that is a all Ford Mustang battle. You can see the Ford Mustang ahead, and that is obviously Tulloch's already in the 15th place. This is a chance to get some more points on the board this championship. And then ahead of them is Brown. Brown is currently trying to chase down Quebec in 12th. Brown's been steadily in 13th for a lot of this race, and he's got a bit of a buffer behind him. He just needs to try and find another gear in order to catch up with Quebec, and we do know, so this is where the bottleneck starts. So Quebec here is trying to chase down, I suppose it's Grace really, but you've got Quebec, Wazzer in 11th, and then you've got Sharp in 10th, and then you've got Radic in 9th, and then Cobb in 8th. Aspari just cannot get past this BMW of Grace. Grace obviously is now 6 seconds off of the rest of the pack, so he really is creating a massive bottleneck for everyone else out there. They must be so frustrating for those drivers behind. And then obviously Zampolini now is only 1.9 seconds off the back of Aresh. I do wonder if Aresh has got damage out there because he just doesn't seem to have the same pace as he would usually have. But Zampolini is starting to close down slightly now, and that is a battle for 4th and 5th. This will be Zampolini's best finish of the season so far. As you can see, Aresh there sliding it through with the, he is a controller driver, but good car control there. Palmer, obviously in 3rd place, still chasing down Roberts in P2, and then Roberts, who was 11.1 seconds back, I'm not sure. He's now 12, so I think Hooper is doing quite well. He's got that one sewn up at the front. Anyone want to hazard a guess who they think might win? Are we thinking it's going to be Hooper, or do we think potentially someone else is going to do this? I think Hooper, I'm going to commentator's curse it now, guys, but I would say, obviously, I think Hooper is actually, he hasn't put a foot wrong all race, and that's a commentator's curse. He's probably going to end up bending it into a wall now. But let's have a look at some battles out there. So the main one we're talking about at the minute, well, one is that Zampolini is now right up behind Aresh. This has been a bit of a rivalry for race 1 and race 2. Zampolini, it seems to have come off worse both races so far, and he now has an opportunity to chase down Aresh for this 4th and 5th, for 4th place. Like I said, it will be his best finish of the season so far. He did have a 10th place finish and a DNF in race 2, so this will be a great chance for him to get some good, serious points on the board. And actually, with a 5th and a 10th, he should probably put him up into the top 10 of the standings as well. But he is trying to chase down Aresh here. Aresh will put up a good fight. But the big talking point of today, I suppose, at the minute, is the fact that Grace has created this massive bottleneck behind him. There's so many cars. What if I have to go to aerial view to sort of kind of catch them all? So you've got, Grace, you've got Kaspari, Cobb, Radic, Sharp, and then Woz has just fallen off the back slightly, but you've literally got 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th all there on one screen. See, has that card has disappeared there? I see that might have been a glitch in the system. Yes, you see how that card has disappeared? That was a bit of a server issue there, but yeah. But this BMW is just providing so mighty on the straight that no one can get past, and it's now going to be Grace trying to put Cobb trying to put pressure on Kaspari here. And Radic, obviously, at one point was literally trying to win this, potentially win this race. Is now stuck in this bottleneck here, and you can see as well that Wazza and Quebec just behind are just sort of sitting in the background, biding their time. Wazza slightly falling down the order slightly as we go here, but yeah, this bottleneck here that Grace is sort of formed. If you look at it maybe from Radic's perspective inside, you can see that he's got that BMW just ahead of him. And then as you come around down into the right-hander, you'll see that there's just all these cars just ahead of him that are causing a bit of grief. So I don't think he has to focus too much on the defensive side of it. He is trying to attack that BMW. But look at this. You've got all those cars that they just for some reason, actually we can see that. Actually, he made a move there. It looks like the BMW has them late on the brakes. And Radic, though, has managed to squeeze through. So that is one position gained. But unless he can get past Kaspari and Grace, he's not going to be able to kick himself up the order slightly. But an opportunistic move there we just caught. But that is... the BMW going late on the brakes, and that's allowed Radic to creep through here, and that's now given Sharp kind of impetus to try and get through. He is now trying to put pressure on the BMW ahead, but like I said, it is going to be Grace, because he was 4 seconds, then it was 6, and now it is 8 point, what did it say? Would it say 8.8? Let's see what it is when it crosses the line. But Grace is just flowing all these drivers down here. Look at the train, and the rest of the midfield are starting to catch up as well. So he's now 8.7 seconds off the back. Zampolini actually is just at the fastest lap of the race, and we do know it is an extra bonus point for the fastest lap here as well. But Zampolini trying his best to try and get past Arash. Arash doesn't seem to have the pace to catch up with the drivers ahead. I think Palmer has got a bit of breathing space. Roberts is just slowly trickling back from Hooper, so Hooper should have this one in the bag. And it is, like I said, going to be Zampolini trying to make a move on Arash. But we do know, like I said, again, catching someone is one thing, passing them is another. And it is, Zampolini right in behind here. So these two have a bit of rivalry so far. And it is going to be Zampolini for the first time going to go alongside Arash. We don't know if Arash has got damage here, potentially. And, Zampolini just thinks better of it. He's going to be wise to... But he gets the drive out of the corner here, and that should be moved on as he dives down into the inside of the left-hand corner. Arash late on the brakes. They are side by side. They don't touch. Nicely on the little tap there. Nothing too crazy. And it is Zampolini that does get the move done. You see Arash flashing his lights there. I don't know if he's happy with the move, but it is Zampolini that gets on through. And Arash now down into 5th place. I don't know if they'll, if he can keep this one down. Arash right in behind. He's going to try his best to maintain that gap. There was the little love tap there, nothing too crazy. I don't think we're going to look too much into that one. But Zampolini now, he's 6.7 seconds. He has got the fastest lap of the race so far. With 9 minutes to go, 6.7 seconds to catch up with the podium places. I don't know if he's got enough time left in it. It looks like as Grace is finally falling down the order. So not only has Kaspari got past, but Radic has got past as well. So I think we've finally seen an overtake. As we can see now that Caruana has got a drive-through penalty, and that is good news for someone like King and Prentice. But actually, as we sit here as now, like I said, when we're talking about the Patreon here, and obviously whoever supports the servers here, but we are running with Prentice here currently. Prentice is the 3rd driver today that we are going to do a profile on. We're just going to ride with him here for a second as he tries to dive down the inside of King here. So this is a great time to drop with him as he does dive down the inside. King tries to hold the outside line, and Prentice does make the move. But he does get back through the inside here, and Prentice is going to have to hold the outside line. So King does fight his way back through. And like I said, we will look at Prentice's stats now. So for season 15... Jack raced 8 times in that season. He finished in the top 10 2 times, and he finished 9th in the championship on 199 points. He was actually racing the Ford Mustang last time out, but this time here he's racing in this luminous green Aston Martin, and he's putting on a lovely little show for us right here. As we can see, Prentice now back up ahead of King. King is going to try and dive back down the inside, but he thinks better of it. So King now is going to have to ride in the back of Prentice's car here. So we'll look at the back of Prentice's car. Sorry, so Prentice here, great move whilst he's on stream, having his profile done. Like I said, he had a good championship last season, top 10 in the championship. So he finished 9th place. Currently 16th in this race. Not having a great season so far, I don't think. But obviously, all you need to do is keep steadily keeping those points on the board. And obviously, it is a smaller season this time. Obviously, 6 races down from 9. But Prentice here, yeah, great move up into P16 now, and he will try and sort of see if we can put in some good laps going up into the end of this race. And we will continue to profile other drivers throughout the rest of the season. And like I said, if you want to get yourself a profile made up and obviously have us cover you for a bit of on the stream, obviously make sure you are supporting the Patreon server. If you do support it and subscribe, and obviously just help support the great things that the Formula Racing League do, then obviously we will allow you to obviously we'll do a little profile on you and obviously get you to come in for do some interviews and things like that. So Prentice here up in the P16, and he's got 18 seconds to Quebec ahead, so I think that's probably going to be where it's going to finish here. Quebec must have had an incident as well, actually, because Quebec was up in P12. It's now down in P15, which is good news to the rest of the drivers, because Brown is now up into P12. So that's a good, he's moved up one more position. So there must have been an incident there somewhere. Kaspari is 8.5 seconds off the back of Arash. Arash has fallen down 2.2 off the back of Zampolini. And Zampolini has 6 seconds to catch up on Palmer with 6 minutes to go. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one. Roberts now fallen down 14 seconds off the back of Hooper. So I think Hooper, like I said, bar any mistakes, should have this in the bag. And then Roberts looks like obviously he's got 3 seconds gap over Palmer. So this should be a podium bar any instance. But I said we do need to keep an eye on Zampolini. He is the fastest lap, obviously the fastest driver on track currently. He is trying to chase down Palmer ahead of him. But he said he would have to catch up a second a minute. So he was after 6 minutes, 6 seconds back. It is down to 5.6, so we'll keep an eye on that one and see if that does start to close itself down. Radic as well, I said he did get the fastest lap of qualifying alongside Hooper. Both had identical qualifying times. He is trying to chase down Kaspari here. This is about for 6th and 7th. They have got 7.9 second gap over Arash. I don't know if they're going to catch that one up. Cobb now trying his best to try and move his way past Grace, obviously, who does have that front end damage. Was currently rounding out the top 10 as well. So see, he was in 11th, but because of that incident with who was it? So Quebec dropping down the order. That means now that Wazza has a chance to get that Bentley back up into the top 10. Sharp was going to see if he can maybe make sort of change those plans. So and Brown in behind. Obviously, this is a good battle for with 11th and 12th in the Hondas, but it looks like Brown, with only 5 minutes to go, might not necessarily have enough time left over. Zampolini with 5 minutes to go looks like he's only caught up half a second on Palmer, but actually, interestingly, Palmer has caught up a bit of time on Roberts, but it might have been that Roberts was trying to contend with back markers here. So don't rule out potentially Palmer though catching up with Roberts here, maybe stealing that place off of him with 4 minutes to go. There's still a lot of action around there, like I said. So somewhere at the back as well, we have Kopp trying to chase down King here as well. So King, who'd lost the place to Prentice, now is going to be under pressure from the Ford of Kopp. And this is a chance for maybe King to drop from 16th down to 18th after a couple of laps. Looks like he goes a little bit wide there, hits the dirt on the left-hand side as he comes off the out of that corner. But it's, Kopp's here trying to put a little bit of pressure on him, but I don't know. He didn't get moved on this lap. He'll have to try and line it up for next time round. Also worth mentioning that Pospisil, is trying to chase down Rayner here. Rayner having a good race, like I said. Up in a P19, that's not a bad race for him. We do know that Caruana had a drive-through penalty, that's why he's down in 21st. Rogers not having a great day at the office. He's currently down in P22. There's a Porsche ahead of them weaving around. I don't know what's going on there. Looks like Duran did have that move done, and now I'm not sure what's going on here. So he was weaving, if he's trying to get some warmth in the tyres. I guess Duran has made that move done, because it did say that Duran was behind Rogers. Now he is ahead of him again. So I wonder what's happened there. So that was interesting when we was weaving side to side there. We have had a few more retirements as well, because there is now only 31 drivers in this race. So Van der Waal, although he's last, he is technically not last, because 4 drivers have retired. So he is that. That's still 4 more points he wouldn't have got if he would have retired from the race himself. We're back up at the front. Let's just keep an eye on the battles ahead. Zampolini has closed that gap to 4.2 seconds, but I think it's going to be too little too late. I don't think Radic again also will have the time to maybe get past Gaspari, because it looks like they're on kind of similar kind of race paces. But Zampolini, who was trying to put pressure on Palmer, it's not catching up fast enough. He's now only 4 seconds back. Yeah, so yeah, I think Palmer's going to just about survive this one. I reckon a few more minutes, and I reckon, yeah, Zampolini might have had him. But this is going to be a brand new podium. Hoopert's not been on the podium this season. Roberts hasn't, and neither's Palmer. So this is going to be an all-new podium for us. So Resch, like I said, finishing 5th place. That won't affect his standings, though, so because he did win the first 2 races, and because he has a drop round, he'll just drop this finish here today, and he'll still have maximum points. So his points will go from 41 up to 81. And I said I don't think anyone else can beat that, but it just means that yeah, potentially in other races, obviously, with if Hooper can mount a bit of a challenge on the next race as well, then there is the potential here. So is that Roberts ahead there? Has there been a... No, Roberts has got past him. I'm going to say, yeah, so I thought that was Roberts catching up there, but it looks like, yeah, they're all getting out of the way. You can see, practically trying to get these guys out of the way. Or when they're, what, are they in a battle of their own? That's the number 2. Yeah, that is actually Deli and Nelson. That is, obviously, admittedly, you can understand why they didn't want to get out of the way, because that is a battle for 28th and 29th here. So that is... yeah, you can see he's trying to make the move on Nelson, but I think he just hit the outside curve there, so that's sort of the grass on the outside, so he's not going to lost a bit of speed there. He was 0.1 of a second behind, but I think he's probably going to fall back a little bit further. You can see as well Danko trying to put pressure on Rogers. There is a back mark in between them, I think, at the minute, or is that Mertens? Sorry, Mertens. So yeah, so Mertens is just ahead here. You can see the leader now is on the final lap. So it looks like Palmer, though, is only 1.7 seconds off the back of Roberts, but I think it's probably, as they come around to start their last lap, I imagine it's probably too little too late. Like I said, with Zampolini 3.8 seconds back as well, bar any mistakes. This might be where people finish. Looks like maybe Cobb has had an incident as well, because he is now down in P10, and Woz is now up in the P9, putting pressure on Grace ahead. So it looks like maybe Wozza can make one more place up on the final lap. So don't rule out like one more overtake here, and Wozza getting up to P8, which would be a good finish for him. But with 44 seconds left, like we said, this will be the last lap of the race. We can see there's a driver in the pit lane as well. There's 2 drivers in the pit lane. There's been an incident now there. Looks like, yeah, Tulloch is in the pits, and also the 65 car. I'm not sure who that one is. Oh no, that's Gaspari with a drive-through penalty on the last lap of the race as well. So that means he's going to, I don't know how many second penalties. Is it 30-second penalty for a drive-through penalty on the last lap? So that's going to drop Gaspari out of the top 10 here. So that means Brown is actually going to get his first top 10 of the season, which is going to be good news for him as well. So just by battling on all the way through, but let's go back up to the front. So I think Hooper is about to finish the race here. So Hooper come around the last corner now. This will be his maiden victory on his second race in the FRL Taco Tuesday Season 16. He'll be buzzing with that victory when he comes through, and he takes the win. Roberts is going to come around, and he's going to take a nice P2 here. So like I said, we have got a brand new podium out here today. Hooper, great racing by him, like I said, to take that win. Roberts will be buzzing with his P2. Yeah, he's happy with that one. Then Palmer will come in, finishing in P3. Great job by those ones. Zampolini, who started in P35, but don't forget, finishes P4. Aresh will come through and take P5, but I said it won't concern him too much, because he does have that drop round, and he did win the first 2 races. Gaspari, though, unfortunately for him, he's going to have a penalty when he crosses the line, a plus 30-second penalty, like I said. So Radic is going to move up to P6. Grace will move up to P7. Wozza will move up to actually, yeah, looks like, yeah, Wozza will move up to P8. And then Cobb, P9. And obviously, Brown will get P10 here. So that is a good little finish by him. And he does actually also finish... Does he finish ahead of the other Honda driver? Where is... looks like Sharp finished down in P29. There must have been an incident there. But, yeah, it's just you can see Prentice coming across the line in P15. King, P16. Koch, P17. Rayner is in P18, Pospisil P17, Pospisil P18. I don't know if these are right now, because I know some people quit straight away. Caruana's coming around to sort of finish off the race now. And then we have Duran, and it looks like he's got ahead of them. Mertens here, it looks like he finished ahead of Stu Rogers, under a bit of pressure from Danko coming up to the finish line as well. And it was Paulson, Gedman, Nelson, Deli, Faster, Van der Waal, Sharp. But like I said, at the front it is Roberts, not Roberts, sorry, he's gone. It was Hooper, sorry, took the win. Roberts second, Palmer third, Zampolini fourth. He said with that 30-second penalty from Kaspari, I'm hoping it will just trigger in a minute the race end, and then we should see where he will finish in this race. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be out of the top 10 by some margin. I think he's going to be maybe even out of the top 15 potentially. Normally it triggers the end of the race, and we can kind of see that. But great racing there by everyone, guys. That was a really, really good one. A lot of action. So we know we missed a few of the front battles as we were keeping on the sort of the battling from the ends. But yeah, the driver of the day has to be Zampolini. I say qualified last, didn't even qualify, didn't even come out for the qualifying. So he started P34 or P35 and then moved his way all the way up the field to get P4 and the fast lap of the race. There you go. You can see that Kaspari finishes in P17. So that's a bad day at the office for him. So yeah, so it is a round that does get in the top 10. So that is yeah, that was good racing. So obviously they said that standings will change quite a lot drastically in the next one because obviously there will be 2 full races. And then obviously everyone's drop round. But moving into the, I think we have called on 2 drivers to come into the interview room. So we'll have to make sure they come in. And then I'm just going to switch over to that room now. Let's just get rid of the. Just going to mute that one. So we should have, I think, 2 people joining us. We should have Sharp, and I think we have Prentice joining us for the post-race interviews. So just sort of mention, like I said, that Kaspari with that drive-through penalty on the last lap does find himself down into P17. So that's a bad finish for him. But I think we have, to be fair, we have both Sharp and Prentice in the room with us now. So we'll start with Prentice, who I think finished P14 following that penalty. Prentice, if you can just what position do you think you finished? 14th. Was that 14th before the Kaspari penalty or after? Okay, cool. There you go. Okay, so Prentice here. So you finished P14. We profiled you in today's race. It looked like, yeah, well, obviously we covered you. In fact, when we were profiling you, you just having that little battle with King, and you managed to get the move done on stream, which is great. Put a bit of a show for us. But yeah, how did you see your race go? And give us a bit of a rundown. Yeah, I think yeah, looking at your finishes, it was 11th and then 12th and then this P14. Obviously, because of the drop round, your P14 this race will actually be scratched off the list, and your 11th and 12th points will come in. But it's one of those things where although you haven't necessarily got into the top 10 yet, you've been in and around it, and also I think those are the kind of positions you need to steadily keep finishing in to probably get into the top 10 again. So are you optimistic? One, I suppose that you're going to get a top 10 this season to actually finish in the race, and do you think you can finish again, or even better, your 9th place finish from last season? I think you're actually going to be there or thereabouts based on the fluctuation of the drivers. But we'll just take a moment quickly to introduce as well. So we have I'm gonna say Adam Sharp. That is right, yeah. So Adam Sharp been with us as well. So Adam, welcome to the stream. I think yeah, you've had obviously again you were one of the drivers we profiled today. You had a third place finish last season's championship. Yeah, we did. Yeah, so we had you on the stream, and then I think you were yeah, actually you were in a bit of a battle at the time with Radic. Yeah, I was gonna say. So obviously you had your 20th place finish on the first race of the season, and you had a great P8 in round two, and it looked like you were actually looking like you were going to get another good finish today, because you were stuck in that bottleneck behind Grace for most of it at the end there, but you had another chance to get in the top 10, but all of a sudden, I think you finished P31. So yeah, walk us through what happened. Mm. Yeah, it was. I mean, yeah, I caught like a few laps of it on stream there. It looked like Grace had. Annoyingly, I was trying to cover a lot of the action, and there was three big moments at the front of the race, and I don't know what happened in any of them because I missed all three. But it looked like I guess Grace must have been caught up in something because at one minute he was like the whole front of his BMW was smashed to bits, but unfortunately for you guys, he still had the straight line speed and no one could get past him, and it caused this big bottleneck between you all. So I don't know if you managed to catch any of the action or saw what happened in that incident, but okay. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so I think yeah, I think I alluded to on the presentation there. I was like when we were profiling you, I was like, I think the only reason you're probably not you know competing for podiums is probably because you're racing in the Honda. But like it's yeah. Do you see yourself maybe getting a couple more top tens this season? And do you think as well, like I asked Jack there, do you think you can get in the top 10 this season, or is you rolling that out as well? Yeah, I mean Zampolini, I think started in P35 and finished fourth, so that's the kind of speed we're dealing with. Ah, that's what it was. Ah, perfect. And I also see we have one more person in the comms room as well. I'm not sure which driver name this is because obviously it's the I only have your Discord name. So who's perfect. Did you how oh yeah also is it, is it Gerbino? Is that how you pronounce it? Yes. Yeah, yeah. I've seen your name in there. a few times. But yeah, how did you get on in tier two today? Yeah, I mean, I think yeah, that's one of your home circuits in Misano, isn't it? So, where did you finish in today's race? Oh, okay. So yeah. So I know after round one, you won round one, didn't you? And then you didn't compete in round two, and then obviously you've won round three. So that should put you in the lead of the championship, I believe. Yeah. Well, unfortunately for the tier one group, they never got any rain in the race in the end. So we ended up having a dry race. So it looks like you guys had all the fun in the rain, and we didn't get any of it. Are you racing McLaren or Lamborghini? Ah, okay, okay. Ah, okay. So on, I say just we'll go through one last round of questions, obviously, because it's a quite important one for everyone. We'll start with Jack again. Obviously, just to sort of tell everyone here as well. So obviously, we've done Masano, we've done Paul Ricard, we've done the Red Bull Ring, and next week we head over to America and we go to the Watkins Glen for the second of our special event races, which is the 100-minute races with the two pit stops. So we'll start with Jack and say, one, how do you feel about Watkins Glen, and do you enjoy the two pit stop format, and how do you think you're going to get on in the Watkins Glen special race? Yeah. Cool. So I'll make sure I'll make sure I snip that, and then we'll use that in the next broadcast. And then and then Adam, how do you think you're going to fare? Yeah, it's a two-stop race. Yeah, it's the same as Misano. And then Gabino, how do you like the two-stop format? And do you think you're going to do well at Watkins Glen?
I hope so.
Oh, perfect. Well, yeah, thank you guys for the chat and everything. And I said I'm gonna head off now to the end of the stream, but yeah, good luck next week, and then we will we'll see how you all get on, and hopefully we'll get some of you back in and have another chat.
Cool. Cheers, man.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Have a good one. Goodbye.
And you. Take care.
Goodbye.